Top 10 Highest Paid Players in World Football 2022. Time and again, we've seen more than enough proof of the fact that football is up there with the most lucrative sports in the world. The top clubs generate millions in revenue every year, which gives them more than enough leverage to pay top dollar for the best players. Apart from inflated transfer fees, clubs also have to worry about the wages that each player in the squad will receive. Even among the top players, there is a certain level of disparity in this regard, as some players are earning frankly ridiculous numbers. In this video, we take a look at 10 of the highest paid football players in the world as of 2022, starting with a highly rated young player who earned a massive payday after a much anticipated move. Erling Haaland's rise to the top has been nothing short of extraordinary. It's hard to believe that only a few years before his transfer to Manchester City, he was plying his trade with RB Salzburg in the Austrian league. No offence to the Austrians, but the level of football in the league is some tiers below the Bundesliga, which is where Haaland moved to at the end of 2019. A couple of excellent performances across 2.5 years with the Germans earned Haaland a move to Manchester City and the biggest payday of his career up till that point. He immediately joined the league of the highest paid players in the Premier League, and indeed the world, with his pay package of €23.6 million per year, which evens out to an estimated €450,000 per week. Kevin De Bruyne is Manchester City's second inclusion on this list, and it has to be said that he is one of the most deserving. De Bruyne is one of the best midfielders in the world, and he is also one of City's longest-serving players on the squad. A player like him would be a key player in any team in the world, and it is unsurprising to see that City recognises the talent and will do all they can to keep him. KDB hasn't always been among the highest paid players in the world, but years of consistent performances at the highest level earned him a new and improved contract when he signed a 2-year extension on his existing one in 2021. The new contract included an annual wage of €24.6 million, which checks out to an estimated €470,000 per week. He is Manchester City's highest paid player and the third highest paid player in the English Premier League. Not bad for a supposed Chelsea reject. When Oscar joined Chelsea in 2012, he was touted to be one of the next big things in European football. The Brazilian attacking midfielder was known for his industry on the ball and eye for goal, and he was soon setting Stamford Bridge alight with crucial goals and match-winning performances. 4.5 years later, Oscar was enduring a period of inconsistency with the team, and he was no longer indispensable. An offer came from China's Shanghai SIPG, and he jumped at the opportunity. At first, it was unclear why a player of such talent would want to leave European football so early on in his career. But when news of the contract offered by the Chinese club filtered into the media, everything became much clearer. Oscar signed a contract worth up to €24.6 million, which is an estimated €470,000 per week. It was more than 3 times what he was earning at Stamford Bridge, and obviously the deciding factor for his move. To be fair, can't really blame him. That is ridiculous money. Since joining Liverpool from Roma in 2017, Mohamed Salah has grown to become one of the most efficient attackers in global football. A record-breaking debut season set the tone for his career at Anfield, and he has many individual awards and trophies to show for it. By the end of the 2021-22 season, there was some fear around Anfield that the Egyptian king would run down his contract until its expiry in June 2023. And the fact that contract negotiations stalled for a long time did not help those rumours at all. However, Following the close of the season, Liverpool broke the news that most of the club's fans would have been hoping for. Mohamed Salah had signed a new deal to make him the second highest paid player in the Premier League and the seventh in the world. His new contract was worth €25.5 million per year, which checks out to a whopping €490,000 per week. At the time of signing the contract, he became the highest paid player in the history of the club. One might wonder if Real Madrid would have signed Eden Hazard if they'd known how the transfer would work out for the club. Without a doubt, the transfer made sense at the time. Hazard had established himself at Chelsea as one of the best wingers in the world, and he had expressed a desire to leave. Madrid swooped in, paid a ridiculous amount of money for the transfer, and got their man. The contract that Hazard signed at the Santiago Bernabeu was worth €25.5 million per year, which averages out to about €490,000 per week. It was a lot of money to put out for any player, but Madrid must have been confident that the returns would justify the wages. This has not proven to be the case, but Hazard remains one of the highest paid players in the world as a result of that move. Andres Iniesta is one of the greatest midfielders of all time. He was one of the big names in Barcelona's golden generation, and he formed a key part of arguably one of the best midfield threes that football has ever seen, with Sergio Busquets and Xavi. However, everything good must come to an end, and Iniesta's time with Barcelona had to come to an end in 2018. He had spent 22 years with the club, and it was time to step down and give the younger players a chance to establish themselves. Iniesta received an offer from Japan, and he was soon donning the colours of Vissel Kobe. His last payday was more than worth it though. He was to earn an estimated €29.4 million per year, which is a staggering €565,000 per week. With money like that, no one would blame him if he decided to play until the age of 40. Cristiano Ronaldo is unarguably one of the greatest footballers to grace the game. An illustrious career filled with several Ballon d'Or awards, UEFA Champions League titles, and league titles across various countries in Europe are only some of the things that the Portuguese legend has achieved. His record as a goalscorer is second to none, but the timing of many of those goals also contributes heavily to the fact that he is considered to be one of the most clutch players ever seen. Ronaldo first burst into superstardom in his first stint with Manchester United. It was then that he won his first Ballon d'Or and set the pace for the years in Spain and Italy. When he rejoined Manchester United in 2021, the fortunes of the club had changed quite a bit. However, they were still in a position to offer a contract worthy of a player of such talent. Ronaldo's contract at the English club was worth €35.4 million at the time of signing, which meant that he would earn over €680,000 per week. The contract immediately made him the highest paid player in the Premier League, but many would argue that it was well deserved. Paris Saint-Germain is backed by state funds, and it is extremely hard for anyone, even the richest clubs, to compete with that sort of funding. It is no wonder that the club can afford to pay their attacking trident the top 3 wages in football, with the least of those being Neymar's contract. Neymar joined PSG for a world record fee in 2017, and the salary that came with the contract was equally mind-numbing. He earns about €35.8 million per year in Paris, which is an average of about €690,000 per week. If anyone would earn that much, who better than one of the best Brazilian players ever? Lionel Messi is another one of the greatest football players that ever lived. He is a ridiculously talented attacker with incredible vision, goal-scoring ability, and composure. Messi spent most of his career at Barcelona, and he would be the first to say that his departure did not happen under the best of circumstances. When Messi left Barcelona in 2021, there were a lot of tears and perhaps regret. However, some of those emotions must have been abated by the wage packet that he was promised by Al Khelaïfi & Co. Messi earns up to €40.3 million per year at PSG, which is an average of about €775,000 per week. When you consider the fact that he actually took a pay cut to join PSG as he was earning more with Barcelona, it really puts things into perspective. Just how much money do these football clubs make? Kylian Mbappe's contract saga was not too dissimilar to that of Mohamed Salah. In fact, it was more drawn out than the latter. Mbappe seemed almost certain to leave PSG at the end of the contract and join Real Madrid, and it seemed a matter of time before these discussions would be put to bed. However, you can never count the Parisians out of a financial tussle. The club recognised the impact of the player at the club and did everything they could to keep him there. They offered a frankly ridiculous contract of €60.1 million per year, and Mbappe could not say no. For someone that's been touted to reach the heights that the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo did in their careers, this heavy investment from Paris Saint-Germain is not the most mind-boggling decision. If he ends up bringing anything close to what's expected of him to the table, he might go down as one of the best players ever, and those wages would be long forgotten. It makes sense for the best players to get the best wages, but from what we've seen, things can get pretty ridiculous. Inflated transfer fees are becoming the norm at the highest levels of football, and so are absurd wages. It's 2022, and a player earns over €1 million per week. What's next?